All right, welcome back to Sweetwater Acres, everyone. Boone here. We are in the shop. I have some cleaning up to do, winter cleaning, if you can't tell by looking behind me. It's a pit in here. But there is a couple projects I need to do that I'm gonna need a Sawzall for. I gotta cut down a couple trees. They should be very big, just a couple inches in diameter. We've got a hornet's nest in one of the trees out back behind the house, and I need to get rid of it because no one wants hornets around. And two, I would like the hornet's nest to be used as decoration in the shop. Be kind of cool, I think, but I don't want to get stung, so that's kind of the catch-22 on that. I know when hornets hibernate in the winter, sometimes they usually don't go into that nest. They usually find places in the ground, old logs, under rocks, things like that, to get through the winter. So they usually don't go back into that nest up in the tree until it starts warming up. Now, it's been pretty warm. Last weekend it was up in the 70s, but as you can tell, we're getting colder. Typical Iowa March weather. 70s last weekend, like I said, and tomorrow is going to be cold, below 30, and between 4 to 5 inches of snow, or so the weatherman says, if you trust him. So I'm hoping these hornets aren't awake and thriving in this nest. Otherwise, you guys might have a heck of a video coming up here. But other than that, I found another little treasure in the woods that I'm going to put in the garden and use in the garden. So I got to cut that thing out too. I think it's pinned. Looks like it's been in the woods a while and a tree grew up around it. So I got to cut it out. But those are the 2 tree cuttings today. I got to charge these Sawzall batteries. And hopefully it's got enough juice to get through. They're not very big trees, like I said, but they're decent sized. So I'm gonna get those charging. I'm gonna do a few chores just to let those batteries charge, and then we'll get to cutting. And everyone's gonna ask, oh, a DeWalt or Milwaukee Sawzall. Boone, definitely, that's gonna cut through, 4 or 5 inch tree, no problem. And it probably would if I had one. The old Black & Decker is gonna be getting the job done today. I saw somewhere there was a video and they were describing people by the tools that they use, and there was something cool, for DeWalt and Milwaukee and all those, and then they got to Black & Decker and like it's the divorced mom tool set. And you know what? I'm with that divorced mom. They get the job done. Are they great? No. Do the batteries die fairly quick? Yes. But are they cheap and you can buy a lot of batteries? Yeah. Just start rotating through those batteries while you're doing the job. I do need to upgrade tools, but until then, Black & Decker's gonna eat some trees up. Alright guys, batteries are almost done charging. I've got the handy dandy wasp and hornet spray. I did find an old, there's a bang up spot on that. I'm gonna have to tape that quick. But I found a trash can with a lid that ideally the hornet's nest is gonna go down into. And then close it up, spray it, and just kind of keep an eye on it as the weather warms up. After we get 4 inches of snow. It's crazy. Monday we're supposed to get 4 inches of snow, and then Friday or Saturday it's going to be above 70. Iowa weather, man. Keep telling you, it's crazy. But as soon as these batteries get done charging, we're going to head out there and okay, so the wind's not horrible back here actually. Out of the way. I don't know if you guys can see it up there or not. Oops. It's up there. We got a bunch of multi-floor rows we gotta go around and figure out how the heck we're gonna do this. The dogs are back here running around. Let's see if they find a shed. We still have some bucks holding on to some sheds. I got one on camera the other night. He was just a little basket rack. We'll see if they come back with any. They're probably getting in the creek and playing in the mud right now. Alright, so I've got Sawzall with a new blade. I've got an extra battery. I've got my Raid. I've got the trash can with a lid. Stella's gonna supervise. And like I was saying, guys, the Hornets, they'll get into, I got a bunch of deadfalls in here that I have to get cleaned out over the last, well, I'd say 6 months. A lot of these old trees, which sucks because they're really big trees. I think that's an oak, if I'm looking at it correctly. Sun's in my eyes. Pretty sure that's an oak, and that fell over. Got a bunch of hickory trees in here. Yeah, they're a bunch. Everything's falling down. We got a bunch of deadfall, and those hornets will winter in those deadfalls instead of being up in the tree like this up here, like that, where the cold and the wind can get to them way easier. They'll actually get down in these deadfalls, burrow in underneath there where there's a little more protection and the thermal barrier, and that's where they'll winter. So I'm hoping, in theory, that, because they said there's kind of 2 routes you can go when removing a hornet's nest. One is wait for it to warm up. Obviously the hornets will move back in there, and then come spray it in the middle of the night when they're all sleeping. That whenever you're doing anything with hornets and wasps and bees, usually early morning or the middle of the night is when you want to mess with the hive, because they're sleeping, kind of hibernate. They, slow down, sleep for the night. They're still awake and alive, but to my knowledge, but they just slow down. They're not as, they don't see you coming. So that was one option. And 2 is wait till it's cold like this when they're all hibernating down in all those deadfalls and underneath rocks and stuff, and they'll burrow into the, if they find a tunnel, they'll burrow in there. But that's kind of the other option. Wait for them to hibernate, cut the nest down, get it out of there, and then hopefully when they wake back up from the cold and they're ready to go to their nest, the nest isn't there, and hopefully they go somewhere else to build a nest. They go, oh shoot, our nest isn't here anymore. You always run into the option of them building a new nest somewhere here, but I'm hoping this spring I'm going to kind of play the odds here, and hopefully they just go somewhere else after we cut this down. It'd be easier for me because that's a ways up there. I don't know how I would spray it in the summer. If they build another one, hopefully they build it lower to the ground and I can get to it. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to cut this down right at the base there. I'll try to set you guys up on the camera somewhere where you can see what I'm doing, and hopefully I don't get stung here, because it is actually a little warmer than I thought today. Yeah, ow, multiflora rose sucks. So this is our tree. I'll probably just try to connect you to one of these branches here on this GoPro. Oh yeah, look at all that multiflora rose in there. That's gonna suck. One second, let me get this set up. All right, guys. We got it down. Actually, after getting it down, it looks like it's a pretty old one. I don't know how heavy duty they are, but it seems pretty abandoned. So what I'm probably going to do is just give it a dose of this. Let this sit out somewhere and let it soak. And hopefully those fumes stay in there if there is anything inside. If there is anything hibernating in there, hopefully that kills it. And we'll let it get up into the 70s after the snowstorm. And hopefully everything in there gets got. If there is anything in there. It looks actually pretty abandoned. So hopefully everything's out of there. But I'm going to take it up. I don't know where I'll put it. Probably out in somewhere by the red barn there, so it doesn't blow away in the wind, because they're supposed to get a blizzard. So put it somewhere around that barn where it's not going to blow away, and douse it with a good old Raid. Got it on sale. And then just watch it when it warms up and see if if you hear any buzzing. We're gonna have to douse it again, crack the lid and douse it again. So that actually went fairly smoothly. Didn't get stung. Can't beat that. So I'm gonna get this up there and we're gonna go attack the next project. I don't know if I'll put that on this video or if that'll be on the garden video I'm gonna make as well. I don't know which one I'll post first. I'm doing this kind of all within the same 24-48 hours. But we'll see. Stay tuned for that video too. That might be coming out. It might be on that. But that's our hornet's nest. Hopefully that was some good pointers if you guys are dealing with any hornets or have dealt with any. Let me know if I'm in for a rude awakening here in like a month or if I'm in the clear, because I have zero idea. I tried to Google it. I got different answers. YouTubed it, got different answers. Pretty much they came on the consensus of cut it down in the winter when they're most likely not going to be there, and then hopefully they just go somewhere else to build their nest, or wait till the summer to when you know they're there, if they're using it, and then, you know, come up and try to douse them somehow. But I don't know how that would have worked. As you can see, that was way up in the tree, and I mean, I would have definitely had to have the chainsaw for a quick cut, and then hopefully douse it before any one of the hornets found me. So we're gonna get this taken care of, and I don't know if this will be the end of this video. If it is, we'll see you on the next one. If not, we're gonna go on to the next project.